My mother-in-law Eleanor smiled sweetly as she helped me pack for the design awards. "Just making sure everything's perfect for my brilliant son-in-law," she said. Later at the hotel, I found my portfolio soaked. The key architectural drawings were blurred beyond recognition. My name is Ethan Miller, 33 years old, an architect in Portland, Oregon. I specialize in sustainable, innovative design. I built my small practice from scratch. Community centers, eco-friendly homes, urban renewal projects. It pays the bills if you're driven, and I am. But for my in-laws, especially Eleanor, it was never a real job. "How's the little building hobby, Ethan?" Richard, my father-in-law, would ask at their Sunday dinners. He was a property developer, old school, all concrete and profit margins. Success for him was a skyscraper, not a park pavilion. Every dinner at their lavish home was an ordeal. Eleanor would gush about Chloe, her perfect daughter, while Richard grilled me about my latest pipe dream project. Chloe would squeeze my hand under the table, a silent apology. Her parents. I'd been working on the presentation for the Cascade Design Awards for months. A new community library, all reclaimed materials, green roof, passive solar. It was my big chance. Chloe believed in it. She's a landscape designer. We often dreamed up projects together. We met 7 years ago at a university lecture I gave on urban ecology. She got my passion for building a better world. Her parents got a headache. From our first dinner, Richard made it clear he'd envisioned someone else for Chloe. Someone in finance. Someone with a corporate ladder to climb. Someone like his son, Liam. Eleanor was more subtle. She'd admire my sketches, then ask when I planned to find secure employment. She'd introduce me at parties as Chloe's artistic friend, not her husband. For years, I tried. I'd explain the engineering, the environmental benefits, show them the positive press on smaller projects. Nothing penetrated their conviction that I was a phase Chloe would outgrow. Last Thanksgiving, I overheard Eleanor telling her sister, Chloe could have had Mark Jennings. You know, he's a partner at his law firm. But she chose the idealist. The way she said idealist made it sound like a terminal illness. Richard was blunter. "When Chloe and I bought our modest fixer-upper," he said, "a house needs a solid foundation, Ethan. So does a family. Hope you're thinking about that." I never told Chloe the full extent of their remarks. She loved them. I didn't want her torn. So I smiled, shook Richard's hand firmly, complimented Eleanor's always perfect table settings, and kept my work and my frustrations to myself. But there were always signs. The way Eleanor would change the subject if I mentioned a potential commission. How Richard would forget to invite me to his golf games with Liam, even when Chloe suggested it. The time Eleanor accidentally donated a box of my early conceptual models to a charity auction. I brushed it off. I thought they'd come around. I was wrong. The night before the awards, Eleanor insisted on helping me pack my presentation boards and portfolio into my travel case. "Can't have anything go wrong, dear," she'd chirped. The portfolio was at the bottom protected, or so I thought. At the hotel in Seattle, hours before the presentation, I opened the case. A faint, sweet chemical smell hit me. The portfolio was damp, the drawings inside. My meticulously rendered plans and elevations were a mess of running ink and warped paper. My heart sank. Only the digital backups were safe, but the physical presentation was a key component. The bottle of fabric freshener Eleanor had insisted on packing, claiming my suit smelled of the workshop, lay empty beside it, its cap loose. A terrible accident. That cleaning spray must have reacted with the glue. She'd probably say. I felt a cold anger. This wasn't an accident. This was sabotage. I managed to present using my laptop and some hastily reprinted, lower quality sheets. I didn't win. I got a special commendation for innovation under duress. The judges likely noticing my flustered state and damaged materials. Chloe was furious on my behalf when I called her. Mom wouldn't, would she? She whispered doubt in her voice. I didn't answer directly. The seed was planted. Back home, I didn't confront Eleanor. Not yet. Instead, I bought a small, discreet security camera and installed it in my home studio. I told Chloe it was for security, given the valuable equipment. She accepted it. A week later, I had an important online meeting with a potential client for a new sustainable housing development. I left my revised blueprints, fresh off the plotter, on my desk. While I was on the call in another room, the camera recorded Eleanor entering my studio. She looked around, then accidentally knocked over my large mug of coffee directly onto the blueprints. She made a show of dabbing at it, making it worse. I finished the call, found the ruined plans. "Oh, Ethan, I am so dreadfully sorry," Eleanor exclaimed, rushing in. "I just came to see if you wanted tea, and I'm so clumsy." Her eyes, however, held a flicker of something else. Triumph. I saved the footage. That evening, I calmly told Eleanor I'd be reprinting the plans and that perhaps it was best if she didn't enter my studio when I wasn't there due to the sensitive nature of ongoing projects. Her face tightened. "Are you accusing me of something, Ethan?" she asked, voice dangerously soft. "Just setting a professional boundary, Eleanor," I replied. Later, Chloe told me her mother had called, upset. Said I was becoming secretive and distrustful. Said I was trying to isolate Chloe from her own family. Chloe looked at me, confused and hurt. Ethan, what's going on? Mom was crying. I told her I was just stressed with work. I didn't show her the footage. Not yet. I needed more than just a spilled coffee. The strain between Chloe and me grew. She started spending more evenings at her parents' house. Richard would call, offering fatherly advice to Chloe about the importance of a provider in a marriage. It felt like they were systematically trying to poison her mind against me. Then Chloe's cousin, Maya, called me. Maya was a marketing manager, sharp and kind. She'd always been supportive of my work and had a strained relationship with Eleanor, who tried to derail Maya's career years ago, deeming it not prestigious enough. Ethan, I need to tell you something, Maya said, her voice low. I was at Aunt Eleanor's today. She was on the phone with Uncle Richard. She didn't know I was in the next room. They were talking about you. My stomach clenched. What did they say? Eleanor was laughing about the coffee incident. She said that slowed his little project down. And Richard said, good. He needs to realize he can't give Chloe the life she deserves. We need to step up the pressure. Maya had recorded a snippet of it on her phone. She sent it to me. Hearing Richard's voice, cold and calculating, plotting my failure, was a shock. He wasn't just a passive enabler. He was a co-conspirator. The audio file was damning. It wasn't just Eleanor's petty jealousy, it was a concerted effort by both of them. I thought about Chloe's ex-boyfriend, Daniel. He was an artist, a sculptor. Their breakup had been sudden and messy, right before Chloe met me. Chloe had said her parents hadn't approved of him, thought he was too bohemian. I found Daniel online. He ran a small gallery now. I called him. He was hesitant at first. Chloe's parents. Yeah, I remember them, he said, a bitter edge to his voice. I explained I was Chloe's husband, that I was experiencing difficulties. He was silent for a moment. Then he said, let me guess. Things going missing. Opportunities sabotaged. Them telling Chloe you're unstable, unreliable, not good enough for her? Exactly, I said, stunned. They did it to me. Daniel said. They lost my application for a major art grant, spread rumors I was having an affair, convinced Chloe I was a deadbeat. It took me years to realize how systematically they destroyed us. He told me about specific incidents, dates, their methods. It was a pattern, a playbook. I thanked Daniel. He wished me luck. You'll need it, he added. I now had the camera footage of the coffee, Maya's audio recording, and Daniel's testimony. A clear pattern of deliberate, long-term manipulation. It wasn't just about my career. It was about controlling Chloe, isolating her, ensuring she lived the life they'd designed for her. I felt sick, but also resolved. That night, I sat Chloe down. We need to talk, I said. About your parents. I laid it all out. I showed her the studio camera footage of Eleanor with the coffee. I played Maya's audio recording. I told her about my conversation with Daniel, relaying his experiences. Chloe watched and listened, her face growing paler with each piece of evidence. At first, there was disbelief, then dawning horror. Tears streamed down her face. No, she whispered. They wouldn't. My parents, they love me. They love their idea of you, Chloe. I said gently. They love controlling you. She replayed Maya's audio, heard her father's voice. That broke her. The anger came next, a furious protective rage, not at me. At them. How could they? She cried, burying her face in her hands. Then she looked up, eyes blazing. What do? We confront them, I said. Together, the next Sunday, we went to her parents' house. Chloe's brother, Liam, was there too, home for the weekend from his finance job in the city. He was their golden boy, the one who'd followed their script. After the usual strained pleasantries, Chloe spoke up. Her voice trembled, but it was firm. Mom, Dad, we need to talk. About Ethan. About us. Eleanor put on her concerned mother face. Of course, darling. Is something wrong? Richard looked wary. We know what you've been doing, Chloe said. We know you ruined Ethan's awards presentation. We know you deliberately spilled coffee on his blueprints, Eleanor, and we know you've been systematically trying to undermine our marriage. Eleanor gasped theatrically. Chloe, how can you say such things? Ethan has clearly been filling your head with lies. It's not lies, Mom, I said. I pulled out my tablet. I played the studio camera footage. Eleanor's face went stiff. Richard scowled. Liam looked confused. That was an accident, Eleanor insisted, but her voice lacked conviction. Then I played Maya's audio recording. Eleanor's laughter. Richard's cold agreement to step up the pressure. Silence. Liam stared at his parents, aghast. Dad, what is that? It's taken out of context, Richard stammered. We were just concerned enough to do this for years. Chloe shot back. She told them about Daniel, about the pattern of sabotage. You destroyed his career, his relationship with me, just like you're trying to do with Ethan. Eleanor started to cry, real tears this time, but they felt like tears of frustration, not remorse. We just want what's best for you, Chloe. He's not right for you. He can't provide. I decide who's right for me. Chloe's voice rose. And Ethan provides more than you can imagine. Love, support, belief in me. Things your money can't buy. Lime. who had always idolized his father and gone along with their views, looked shaken. "Mom, Dad, did you really do all that?" To Daniel and now to Ethan. His voice was quiet, full of dawning disillusionment. Richard avoided his son's gaze. Eleanor just sobbed. "This has to stop," I said, my voice calm but hard. "You will not interfere in our lives again. You will not speak ill of me or our marriage to Chloe, to Liam, to anyone. You will respect our choices." Chloe stood beside me, nodding. "If this continues," she said, her voice like steel, "we will cut off all contact, and we will make sure everyone knows why." I didn't mention the other evidence I had, Daniel's willingness to talk, Maya's full story. But the implication hung in the air. Eleanor and Richard looked defeated. Their power was gone. Liam looked at them with new, critical eyes. "I can't believe this," he muttered, shaking his head. We left soon after. The car ride home was quiet. Chloe leaned her head on my shoulder. "Thank you," she whispered, "for fighting for us." A few weeks later, Chloe had news. "I'm pregnant." She told me, her eyes shining. We were thrilled. We decided to tell her parents and Liam together at our place. When we did, Eleanor's reaction was surprisingly emotional. Genuine tears of joy this time. Richard was more reserved, but he congratulated us, shook my hand. Before they left, Richard pulled me aside. "Ethan," he said, his tone unusually subdued. "I've been thinking. Your sustainable designs, there's a market for that. I have a new development. I could fund your firm to take the lead on the community housing portion. A significant investment. It was an olive branch, perhaps, or another attempt at control to make me beholden to him." "Thank you, Richard," I said. "But I'm going to build my firm my own way, on my own terms." He looked surprised, then nodded slowly, a flicker of something respect in his eyes. "Your loss," he said, but without the usual bite. Eleanor, meanwhile, started sending lavish baby gifts, an antique crib, designer baby clothes. No strings attached, just gifts. Our son, Leo, was born in the spring. He was perfect. Eleanor and Richard came to the hospital. They were surprisingly normal. They cooed over Leo, kept their advice to themselves, and didn't overstay their welcome. The relationship settled into a new, cautious normal. They kept their distance, respected our boundaries. They never apologized, not in words, but their actions changed. Richard, true to his developer nature, sent us a large check for Leo's education fund. No discussion, just a deposit. Eleanor started forwarding Chloe articles about sustainable parenting, small gestures. That fall, I entered the Cascade Design Awards again, with the community library project fully realized, beautifully presented. This time I won. The prize money, along with a small business loan I'd secured on my own, was enough to officially launch Miller Design Works, my own firm. Chloe threw a small party to celebrate. Maya was there, Daniel even came, and Liam, looking more relaxed than I'd ever seen him. He'd started distancing himself from his parents' business, exploring his own interests. During the party, a courier delivered a large, flat package. It was from Richard. Inside, a framed architectural rendering of my award-winning library design. There was a small, engraved plaque at the bottom, "Ethan Miller Vision, Integrity, Success." No other note. It wasn't forgiveness. It wasn't friendship. It was an acknowledgement. From one builder to another, perhaps. Chloe came over, saw the rendering. She smiled. "He's learning," she said softly. "Life found its rhythm. My firm grew. We specialized in projects that mattered, projects that Richard would have once called hobbies. Chloe's landscape design business flourished alongside mine. We were a team in work and in life. We'd see Eleanor and Richard at holidays, family birthdays. The interactions were polite, sometimes even warm, but always with clear boundaries. They knew not to cross them. One evening, Chloe and I were sitting on our porch watching Leo play in the yard. The setting sun cast long shadows. "Do you ever think about it?" Chloe asked. "What they did?" "Sometimes," I admitted. "But mostly, I think about what we built. Despite them." She nodded, taking my hand. "They thought success was about money, control, the life they wanted for me." She looked at our son, then at me, her eyes full of love. "They never understood. Real success is this: choosing your own path, building a life with someone you trust, being happy." I knew she was right. I hadn't won by outmaneuvering them in their own game of manipulation. I'd won by refusing to play, by standing firm on my values, protecting my family, and building my dream with honesty and hard work. And that felt like the best kind of victory, the quiet kind, the one that lasts.